Shalom, shalom, Israel. First, giving honor to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Shai. Excuse me. Today's class, back to the basics 101, man. Vain speaking is hypocrisy. Do as the Lord commands, or as He instructs. Same thing, just different verbiage. Back to the basics 101, man. It's the official, unofficial series, man. We got to continue to increase our solid foundation, man. And the only way to do that is back to the basics.
That's right.
It's the only way to those fundamentals. We have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Sharpen. That's the word to go for. Sharpen those fundamentals, man. And a lot of times, we as a people, we tend to talk more than do. Or we like to say and do the opposite. Or vice versa. We do things and then, you know what I'm saying, at the end, say something else. Like we like to lie for ourselves or lie to ourselves or lie to one another. Different variations of it. But at the same time, man, that vain speaking gets you nowhere. Actions, following the instructions, following the commandment, following, adhering, doing. That's what we need to start.
That's right.
The fundamentals, the foundation. Let's get into it. Book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4.
The book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. This is for our learning. The instruction for us to be better people, better brothers, better sisters, better fathers, better mothers.
That's right.
Better children, better neighbors. This is what that's for. For us to be the best version of ourselves that we could possibly be through the power of the Lord, man.
That's right.
Through the instruction of the Lord. Who don't want to be better? Who don't want to evolve? Who wants to stay stagnant, stay in the lowest form of their being that they can be? There's no advantages. There's no benefits. There's no perks. There's nothing waiting on you but sorrow, sadness, deception, lies, deceit, darkness. It's time for us, man, to strengthen these fundamentals, man, to get our foundation solid, man, to become the best versions of ourselves, man.
That's right.
And not just speaking it, but doing it. James 1 and 26. Again, man, these is fundamental. We've all heard them, we've all read them, but it's time for us to actually start doing what's being told, what's being instructed, what's being commanded. Read that when you get there, bro.
The book of James.
1 and 26.
The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 26. If any man among you seem to be religious.
Seem to be religious, read.
And bridleth not his tongue.
And hold not his tongue and not think before he speaks.
But deceiveth his own heart.
But do what, bro?
But deceiveth his own heart.
Read.
This man's religion is vain.
This what?
His religion is vain.
Read.
Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world.
And to do what?
Keep himself unspotted from the world.
Man. Give me that definition right quick. The first one. Hypocrisy. Yeah. Put it up. Put it up. Make it a little bit bigger, bro. Control and scroll. That big enough for you? Read that.
Hypocrisy. The practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one's own behavior does not conform. Pretense. His target was the hypocrisy of suburban life.
Go back and read James 1:26 one more time.
The book of James, chapter 1.
Keep it up.
In verse 26. If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart.
Read.
This man's religion is vain.
It's vain, bro. It's nothing can gain from this. Read.
Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world.
Man, that's why I say to love thy neighbor as you love yourself, man. They say to be unspotted from the world, man. Are we doing that? Are we acting as such? Or are we telling ourselves one thing? We telling, you know what I'm saying, the people we interact with, we tell the people that we see, we tell the people that we live with, we tell the people, but are we doing the same thing on the other side? Are we ourselves ultimately unspotted?
Bring it out.
There's many ways to go about it. But are we doing it thus saying the Lord? Are we adhering to the instruction? Right? It say to the practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one's own behavior does not conform. Click over. Give me the other one. Give me the next one. Read that.
Hypocrite.
So we've understand what hypocrisy is, but what is the hypocrite? Read that.
A person who pretends to have virtues or qualities that he or she does not have. A person whose actions contradict their stated beliefs or feelings. Hypocritical.
Man, it's a lot of us that call ourselves being in the truth. Still hypocrites.
Bring it out.
Still living a life of hypocrisy.
Bring it out.
Still being hypocritical. We're still letting this talk, but our actions aren't lining up with what's being said. Our actions aren't lining up with what's to be done. We're doing the opposite.
Teach.
We're doing the hidden hand where we give you the one visual here, but at the other side, we devils, demons, steeped in the darkness, no light to be found. You're smiling and fronting, but behind that smile, man, is rage. Behind that smile is wrath. Behind that smile is your lip turned up towards your brothers, towards your sisters, towards people that ain't did nothing to you, towards the ones that try to tell you the truth, towards the ones that actually are trying to do good for you, but that ain't what you want because it's not how you want it.
Bring it out.
It's time for us to be unspotted, man, from the world. It's time for us to be cleansed by that blood, man, and become a new creature. One drenched in white, man, dripped out. Clean and pristine, not a stain on me, know what I mean? It's time. Let's get to it, man. Ephesians 4:29, man. The book of Ephesians, chapter 4:29. Read that when you get there, bro.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 29. Let not corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth.
That's what being a hypocrite is. That's what hypocrisy is. That's what being hypocritical is. That corrupt communication. Corrupt communication is confusion. Corrupt communication is lying. Corrupt communication is saying one thing and doing another. These are forms of corrupt communication. Corrupt communication is telling yourself in the head, bro, in your mind, you're speaking to yourself that I'm not going to do this, and then turn around and do it. That I'm no longer going to be this way, but 5 minutes later, you're the same way.
Bring it out.
Telling the Lord that I'm changing, that I'm trying to repent. But your actions still show that you ain't changing.
That's right.
That you're just a mouthpiece. And then get in front of everyone else and faking and shaking and putting on the phone. Coming into the building, coming around your brothers and sisters with one garment on, and as soon as you leave, you throw that other garment on. That's hypocritical. That's two-faced. That's towing the line of that warm and that cold. The Lord say, choose one. It's time for us to do as the Lord commands, man, as he instructs. He gave us the blueprint on how to operate. We just got to do it.
Right.
Read, bro, from the top, 28.
28?
Nah, 29, excuse me.
Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying.
But that which is good to the use of edifying, read.
That it may minister grace unto the heart, to the hearers.
So is it going to edify and administer grace unto the hearers if they're hearing you say this, but you yourself, your life and your actions aren't lining up with what they tell you? Is it going to be believable for them?
No, sir.
Is it going to give them that extra push that they need to get over their humps that they're battling? If they're looking at you as an example of glory, as an example of righteousness, but you yourself aren't performing righteousness, don't it seem like you crippling that spirit?
Bring it out.
Don't it seem like there's blood on your hands for the lies and the corrupt communication that you're performing? For the hypocritical lifestyle that you're leading? We have to account for the things we say.
That's right.
We have to account for the things we do.
That's right.
Man, what your scorecard look like? What that report card talking about, bro? That employee review is coming up. What it's looking like? Is human resources gonna have to get you up out of here? Or you gonna have another year of a service? Like, what's going on? They say, let not that corrupt communication, bro, proceed out of your mouth.
That's right.
Let it be for the edifying and for the grace of the hearers, man. Read on, bro.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption.
Man, a lot of us are still grieving that Holy Spirit because we are still hypocritical in the mind. We're still hypocritical in our actions. We're still hypocritical in what we say. Just a walking embodiment of hypocrisy. And that's still in the truth today. That's still something that our brothers and sisters are battling with today. Because what? We're deceiving our own selves. The doctrine of devils. The Lord say, bro, he is not the author of confusion. Hypocrisy is confusion. That's not being, it's not being 100. That's not being 1,000.
That's right.
How can I truly trust and put my faith in someone who shows themselves to be crooked, shows themselves to be untrustworthy, shows themselves to be two-faced? Think about that. Would you deal with somebody that was operating like that? Ask yourself, would you deal with somebody that you know? No, you wouldn't. Because there's certain family members right now that you probably don't deal with for that very reason.
Bring it out.
There's certain people that you don't deal with for that very reason.
Thanks.
So have you looked in the mirror lately, brother? Have you looked in the mirror lately, sis? Are these same qualities, this same spirit dwelling amongst you? Bro, back to the basics, man. Back to the basics 101. Self-reflection. St. Matthew's 7 and verse 1. Let me get that with you, bro. Read that out.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 1. Judge not, that ye not be judged. Be not ye judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged.
It's saying, for what you bring on, for what you choose to judge, be mindful. Because what you're being judged, what you're judging, you're going to be judged of the same thing. So if you're, quote unquote, trying to condemn and cast down brothers and sisters, check your scorecard, bro. Check your report card, sis. You got them same demerits. You got them same issues. You got them same problems. You dealing with these same situations. Your card gonna get pulled. This is what being a hypocrite is. You trying to call somebody out, but you got the same dirt.
Teach.
Your window ain't too clean, bro.
Bring it out.
Them forces ain't ice white no more, sis.
That's right.
It said, judge not, that ye be judged. Read.
And with that measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again.
The same thing you do, the same thing you say. It's reverse, right? When they say when you point that finger, it's three other fingers pointing back at you. See, in the world is nothing but hypocrisy and confusion.
That's right.
It's nothing but double standards left and right. The man can only do so much, but the woman can. Case in point, we'll use domestic violence as an example. A woman can be angry, can be upset, can be irate, and put her hands on a man. But as soon as that man tries to defend himself, the issue lies, right? But the Lord say, do unto others as you want done unto you, right?
Teach.
So why would you put your hands on somebody and then not expect somebody to put their hands back on you?
Bring it out.
Don't take what I'm saying and say I'm condoning anything. I'm just trying to get you to see the hypocrisy in that.
Good.
Right? You pushing and mushing a man all upside his head and you're throwing things at him, and then as soon as he gets you up off of him, you're flopping like LeBron James, bro. You're calling the police. You get what I'm saying, right? That's crazy.
Good.
This is the type of confusion that the world breeds. And we bring it right into the truth.
Bring it out.
Crazy. Read, bro. Verse 3.
And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thy own eye?
Why try to call your brother out? And you have the same or worse against you.
See?
You try to be the picture boy, the face of righteousness, but you got all kind of skeletons in your closet. Yeah. Bro, this is what we see a dime a dozen. You can't tell, nobody right now watching class can tell me that they've never experienced that they've never dealt with a family member or a friend or an associate or somebody in passing that had that same style. Hell, yourself.
Thanks.
You could have been that person in that group. Some of you still are. It's a battle that's still continuing right now because you have not let the Lord in. You have not taken on the Spirit of Christ. You have not let the new creature be new. You have not evolved. You have not stood 10 toes on your square. You have not let your foundation be built sturdy and strong. We still trying to cast the mote. And we got light poles in our eyes, you know what I mean? Read.
Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye. Thou hypocrite.
That what?
Thou hypocrite.
That what, bro?
Thou hypocrite.
Pull it up again one more time, the definition of hypocrite. Read verse 5.
Thou hypocrite. First cast out the beam out of thine own eye.
First have that self-reflection and you change and you become anew and you let the Lord in and become that new creature. You repent. You change. Read.
And then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
Then you can be properly and well equipped to help the next brother.
That's right.
Then you can go into the game with all of the advantages, all of the cheat codes needed to help that bro in his battle, to help that sister in her battle. You cannot give someone strength or advice or any type of counseling on things that you yourself have yet either conquered or experienced or had some dealings with. I can't tell you how to build a concrete building if I've never experienced it. I can't counsel you on how to do the work of an electrician if I don't know wires. See, that's where the hypocrisy lies. We try to show ourselves to be the manliest man of God or the woman of the Lord, but we still got demons. We still steeped in darkness. Not a bit of light is shining through. We're causing more harm than we are help. Not only to the ones around us, but to ourselves. To be a help to someone else, you have to be helped. You have to get that help. You have to be fixed. You have to be whole. You have to be of the Lord. But the world lets that hypocrisy seep in. And that's not of the Lord. Go to Galatians 6 and 1. Let me get there with you, bro. Read it when you get there.
The book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse 1. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual.
Ye which are spiritual, read.
Restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
So how can you yourself restore a brother if you yourself haven't been restored? How can you be of help to that brother? How can you be of help to that sister if you yourself have not let the Lord in? If you are not living the living embodiment of that spirit. Read.
Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
See, this is one of the instructions. This is what he commands, bro, for us to bear one another's burdens.
That's right.
Not to condemn. Once you've done this, once you've done all that you can for your brother, all that you can for your sister, if at the end that brother or that sister still chooses not the spirit of the Lord, bro, all you can do is wash your hands.
That's right.
You've done your job. Now it's between that brother or that sister and the Lord. You've done all you can. The worst thing that can be done for them is to be in the hands of the Lord.
Facts.
That's the greatest and the worst thing.
That's right. That's right.
So if the brother was asking for help, was seeking the redemption, and you extended that hand, you gave the knowledge, you sat and gave the ear, you were there to be a brother, you were there to be a sister, and no change has come, bro, stop worrying over it. Wash your hands and let the Lord do what the Lord gonna do. Because at the end of the day, when that question is asked, were you that brother? Were you that sister to that sister? Were you that brother to that bro? Nobody can say you weren't.
Bring it out.
Nobody can say that you weren't there.
That's right.
But see, that hypocrite gonna tell you, yeah, I'm your brother. Gonna tell you, yeah, I'm your sister. Gonna say these things. But when the time comes, they weren't with you shooting in the gym.
Bring it out.
They weren't with you digging that pit. They weren't with you clearing that land. They weren't with you building that garden. They weren't with you putting things together. They weren't with you coming up with a plan and actually putting it in motion. They were nowhere around. And that's the type of spirit that the world creates. And that's the type of spirit that the Lord wants to kill and get rid of.
That's right.
It said, bear ye one another's burdens, bro, and so fulfill the law of Christ. Read verse 3.
For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
And see, that hypocrisy, bro, it'll have you thinking, man, that pride and that vanity, bro, you're speaking and saying these things, but on the other hand, on the other side of that coin, bro, you not doing anything. You saying you're not that guy. What's you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Like, that's not you. See, there was many cats in school growing up, especially in high school. Brothers faking and shaking, brother, fit in. You in school portraying yourself to be this, saying this. But outside of school, bro, you're not like that. You're not built like that.
That's right.
And those ones don't make it fast. I mean, don't make it long. Because your skirt get pulled up. You get revealed real quick. It's time, man, for us to lean on the fundamentals, man. For us to build these back up so we can be strong. That we can be that house, unshaken, unmoving. When times get here, when the hard times strike, when a brother is down and he need that support system, you can be there. It say to bear ye one another's burdens, man. Read on, verse 4.
But let every man prove his own work.
But do what?
But let every man prove his own work.
Read.
And then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another.
Man, it say to prove your own work. See, when it talk about proving a friend, bro, it's going into these same concepts. The person is going to reveal who they really are in due time. A person can tell you so much, but in due time, their true colors will show. The Lord tell you to prove a friend. This is why. Because this right here, boy, should be an Olympic event. Spit that game. High side, talk. That mouthpiece. But at the end, there's no action behind it. There's nothing to back up what's being said. Let's go back. St. Matthew's 7 and 5. Let me get there with you. Read that, bro.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine.
Again, this is telling you, bro, prove a friend. Prove a friend. Know what you're doing. Know who you're dealing with. Know what's going on. Because at the end, those colors will be shown. That person is going to show you exactly who they really are.
That's right.
What's done in the dark must and will come to the light.
That's right.
Read, bro.
Lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you.
Read.
Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened.
Man, for these things to happen, you have to not only want it, you have to do it, you have to speak it, you have to live it. All of these things coincide with each other. You can speak it till your face blue, but if your actions don't line up with it, that door ain't gonna never open for you.
Bring it out. That's right.
You can scream it from the mountaintops till you hoarse, but until you do it, that prayer ain't gonna be answered.
See?
You see how these things work with each other, that push and pull? The world, bro, is so much confusion. And it's time for us to apply the eye salve, man. To put on them Bose noise canceling headsets, bro, and listen to the voice of the Lord. Point blank, period. We don't have time to be wasting anymore on frivolous things. We don't have time to be wasting anymore on unfruitful works. We don't have time to be wasting on things that will ultimately lead us nowhere.
That's right.
It's time to get to it or get gone. Let the hypocrite no longer be a hypocrite. No longer live and dwell in hypocrisy. Go to Romans 8 and verse 4. Read that, bro.
The book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 4. That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit.
Not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. That is the righteousness. That is that righteousness. Read.
For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh.
So those that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. Read.
But they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit.
Read.
For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
See, the fleshly things, bro, is that hypocritical mindset, is the hypocrisy. That's the flesh, because you're saying it, but you're not doing it. You cannot be spiritual if you're not speaking and doing the same thing.
Teach.
Did Christ say he was going to come and remove that veil and not remove it? Did Christ say that, you know what I'm saying, he was going to bear our burdens and not bear them?
Teach.
See, being that hypocrite is to be ultimately found a liar.
Bring it out. Thanks.
So if we are to follow the steps of Christ, we have to be unspotted. Was he not that unspotted sacrifice? Just invoking thought, man. Read.
Because the carnal mind is enmity with God, for it is not subject to the law of God.
For it is what?
Not subject to the law of God.
See, man, that hypocrisy, bro, is not subject to the law of God, bro, because you're not doing it. You're not of it. The Spirit is not in you. You're not willingly doing. Read.
Neither indeed can be. So then, they that are in the flesh cannot please God.
Read it again.
So then, they that are in the flesh cannot please God.
So then, those that are hypocritical, those that live in hypocrisy, those that are hypocrites cannot please God.
Teach.
Because what is hypocrisy? Confusion. Put a definition up again, man. Hypocrisy. Read it one more time, bro.
Hypocrisy. The practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one's own behavior does not conform.
Sirach 32:14. Let's get it. 32:14. Read that when you get there, bro.
The book of Sirach, chapter 32 and verse 14. Whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline, and they that seek him early shall find favor. He that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith. But the hypocrite.
But the what?
But the hypocrite.
Read.
Will be offended thereat.
Will be offended thereat. Read.
Thereat. They that fear the Lord shall find judgment, and shall kindle justice as a light. A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will.
See, that hypocrisy falls back into sin.
That's right.
Because hypocrisy is confusion. Hypocrisy is lying. Hypocrisy is sin. Because again, you're saying one thing, but doing another. That don't work. That's not being truthful. That's not being honest. That's not being 100. See that hypocrisy, bro, you're going to try to find an excuse to yourself, bro, for not doing what you said. For not being how you should be.
Bring it out.
You're going to find an excuse to tell yourself that, you know what I'm saying, you're being fake.
Teach.
That's a dangerous game to play. The craziest thing you can do to yourself is formulate a lie. Because now you have to keep the lie going. Now you have to keep the lie active. Now you have to keep that lie, quote unquote, valid. You know how much energy that takes? You know how much plotting and scheming and planning and adjusting you got to do just so your lie don't be filled with breaches? It's impossible, bro. It's impossible. Because at some point, guess what? Them house of cards is going to come tumbling down. What's done in the dark must and will come to the light. That excuse is no longer going to be valid for yourself, sis. That excuse is no longer going to work, bro. Go back. St. Matthew 7 and verse 8. Read that when you get there, bro.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 8. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. Or what man is there of you, whom if his son ask bread, will he give him a stone? Or if he ask a fish, will he give him a serpent? If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good things to them that ask him? Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets.
Man, bro, it's saying, bro, why offer? Why present this thing, knowing that this isn't needed? This isn't what asked for, but you present it, you give it. In case, like they said, for bread, instead of bread, you give a stone. For fish, instead of that fish, you give a serpent. Brothers asking for help. And what you give them?
Bring it out.
You give them ghosts. Deuces, you out. A brother's asking for love, bro. Sisters asking for affection. And what you give them? Hardness. Wrath. You know what I'm saying? Sisters asking for clarity, huh? And all she get is confusion.
Bring it out.
Brother, needing love, sissy. He ain't heard you say it. Ain't seen the action behind it. But all you do is criticize. But the same skeletons you trying to call out, you got about 30 of them mugs in your closet.
Bring it out.
It say, read verse 12 again, man.
Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them.
It's telling you, bro. What you want done unto you, do unto them. So if you want somebody to show that love and affection, you yourself have to show that love and affection. If you want somebody to be honest and truthful with you, you therefore have to be honest and truthful with someone else.
Bring it out.
All right.
That's right.
Bro, that's how it works. You cannot demand or require something of someone and you yourself aren't ready or able to perform that same thing. That's being hypocritical. That's living in hypocrisy. Case in point, we'll take it back to the world. A sister looking for the most ideal man, the unicorn of unicorn. He need to be all of these things, man. It's a laundry list of the things that sisters want in a man, right? But sis, can you check off one of those things for yourself? You need him, you know what I'm saying, doing X, Y, and Z, but you can't even perform X, let alone get to Y and Z. It's crazy. It's crazy. You want a man fit and pristine, but sis, you ain't put down the fast food in the last 3 years.
Bring it out.
You know what I'm saying? You want somebody that can, you know what I'm saying, make valid and clear decisions, but you yourself is indecisive. You yourself want somebody that's committed and has a immaculate work ethic, but you yourself is lazy, sis. And that can go vice versa for the man. But I hope you understand the picture I'm trying to paint. Do unto others as you want done unto yourself.
That's right.
And the crazy thing is, nowadays, these sisters bro out here on these dummy missions, man, for these foodie calls, and then the question is posed to you. Yeah, foodie calls, real talk. The question is presented unto them. If you had a son, would you allow your son to do the things that some of these men are doing for these? Hell no. But why would you yourself do these things? You see the hypocrisy? You see that? This is the type of spirit that the world breeds, man.
Bring it out.
As a father, as a man, you have a daughter. How do you want your daughter to be treated? By another man.
Teach.
So how have you treated somebody else's daughter?
Bring it out.
Right? Hypocrisy.
Thanks.
So we wouldn't have to worry about these things, bro, if we just let Christ in and follow the commands, follow the instruction, follow the blueprint. Let's go Romans. Let's go back to Romans 8 and 9. Read that when you get there, bro.
The book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 9. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so, be that the Spirit of God dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of his.
He is what?
He is none of his.
So being that hypocritical person, being that person that lives in hypocrisy, being that person that has to be hypocritical. Read it again, bro.
Be ye not, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so be that the Spirit of God dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Christ.
If any man have not the Spirit of Christ, because the Spirit of Christ does not breed hypocrisy. Read.
He is none of his.
He is what?
He is none of his.
Man. Christ does not bring about confusion.
Bring it out.
Christ does not bring about lies and deceit. If you are that, if that spirit is on you, if you are that person, bro, you are not of Christ. This, again, is a self-reflecting class. This is the time for you to be 100 with the Lord, bro. 100 with yourself. And get these things in order. Seek the help that you need. And when you receive that help, Stick to it.
That's right.
Follow the instruction. Because what good is asking for help, receiving the help, and not doing a damn thing with it? That's a slap in your brother or sister face that took the time out, bro, to be there. That took that time, man, to show that love and to show that care and to show that affection, and you saying you don't give a damn about none of that. That's dangerous, man. Because again, do unto others as you want done unto yourself. Let's go back to Sirach 32 and verse 23.
The book of Sirach, chapter 32 and verse 23. In every good work, trust thy own soul, for this is the keeping of the commandments. He that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment, and he that trusteth in him shall fare never the worse.
See, man, that spirit, bro, is what's going to breed these things. You're not worried about a lot of the things, bro, that we go through. You're able to make the proper adjustments. You're able to be adaptable to situations because you have the Lord on your side. When others may worry, when others may fret, when others may doubt, guess what? Your faith is strong. Your mind is clear. You're ready to problem solve. You're ready to create solutions and not problems. This is what the Lord do. This is why you fare never the worse, because you know there's an out. Things may look dark, but there's light as soon as you get out that tunnel.
Bring it out.
Let's go back to Matthew 7 and 15. You can only feel that way. You can only do that when you speak and do the same. Read that, bro.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 15. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves.
They say, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves, which speak to you, show you these things, but the ulterior motive is destruction.
That's right.
The ulterior motive is death. The ulterior motive is lies. The ulterior motives is to bathe you in darkness.
Bring it out.
Read.
Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
Again, this is why the Lord tells you to prove a friend. Read.
A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down.
Is what?
It's hewn down.
It say every tree that bringeth forth not every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire, man. How can you produce good fruit? How can you produce a trustworthy background or a trustworthy pattern if all your works and all your fruit is corrupt? How can someone depend on you if you've shown yourself to be or shown yourself not to be dependable? You say you're going to do this, or you say you're going to be here at this time, or you set these plans, but guess what you don't do? Follow through. You don't show up. You don't follow through. You ultimately leave your brothers or sisters hanging, stranded. If it's supposed to be an 8-man job and we down 1 man, guess what that's going to do? The rest of those 7 are going to have to pick up the slack of that 1 amongst themselves. Is that fair? Does that show you care? Does that show love?
Bring it out.
That's being a hypocrite. How would you feel if someone did that to you? You'd be ready to cut ties, right?
That's right.
It won't be no grace period, huh? See, all of these things, man, have consequences, whether good or bad. And being that hypocrite, bro, is not being of the Lord, bro. Making promises or making, making these statements or these plans, bro, and not following through with them. That makes you that hypocrite. There are unforeseen things that happen, but do you communicate?
Bring it out.
Or do you just not show up? Do you not say anything at all? See, that's corrupt communication.
Right.
That's part of being the hypocrite. Just things to be thought about. You know what I'm saying? Read verse 19 from the top. We're gonna finish it out. Them 2.
Right. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits you shall know them.
See, this is how you will know who the hypocrites are, who lives in hypocrisy, who are hypocritical. That's why he tells you to prove a friend.
That's right.
What's done in the dark must and will come to the light. Those true colors of that individual will be shown. Just take time. Some people reveal them things way faster than others. Some people, they slow cook. And those breaches are found, and guess what? The Lord lift up their skirt. 1 Timothy 4:1. Read that when you get there, bro.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy.
Doing what?
Speaking lies and hypocrisy.
Read.
Having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats, which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
Hey, man, we are watching this very scripture live today. Right now, in this dispensation of time, this is still going on.
Thanks.
The biggest thing that's perpetuating this right now, social media. You have what they like to call influencers. Showing you one thing, right? Speaking this. But at the end, that ain't what it is on the other side.
That's right.
Quote unquote, yeah, prank videos. You go in and you call yourself dining and ditching. Yeah, once that camera go off, you go back in there, you pay that bill, don't you?
Bring it out.
messing with these people's items, you know what I'm saying, walking up on them and cutting clothing and things and so much. So many crazy prank videos, man, and cats is getting put to sleep over. But when that camera go off, when that content that you just finished creating, best believe, bro, you broke somebody off something. See, it's a facade. Again, we're doing these things, bro. Give me Alt J, bro. You doing it. That's what you're doing it for. For that recognition, for the for the love. Right? For the notoriety. That hypocritical spirit, bro. Yeah. Now, nan time in your life have you shown or portrayed yourself to be gangster, but all of a sudden now you want to be gangster. You want to ride around with the toaster, huh? You need the blicky on you, huh? This is the type of spirit, bro, that's being bred right now. Internet, social media. Everybody want to be thugs and gangsters and drug dealers and so on and so forth. Don't nobody want to push nothing positive, man?
Bring it out.
Bring it out.
Don't nobody want to, you know what I'm saying, like, help? You know what I'm saying? Be a good Samaritan. Be an upstanding citizen. Like, help, like, what, help your community? Like, where them people at? What? Oh, wait, they lame? Just posing these questions, man. Let's go back to Sirach. 33 and verse 22. Again, right? Say being unspotted, right? Read that when you get there, bro.
The book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 22. In all thy works, keep to thyself the preeminence. Leave not a stain in thine honor.
Do what?
Leave not a stain in thine honor.
How you leave not a stain in your honor, bro, is not being hypocritical.
That's right.
That's one way of not leaving a stain. That's one way of being unspotted from the world, right? See how these things come back full circle? Because again, if we're supposed to follow the example of Christ, he was that unspotted lamb, right? No stain on his honor, right? Not a stain on me, right? That vain speaking, that talking is going to sign that check that you ultimately can't cash, man.
That's right.
Let's go back to Matthew 7 and 21. Read that when you get there, bro.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven.
So you can scream, Lord, Lord, bro. You can call on the Lord all you want. You can say, I've done this. You can say, I did this. But at the end of the day, did you really?
Bring it out.
Did you really show yourself to be of the Lord? Did you really show yourself to have the Spirit of Christ? Did you really show yourself to be that brother? Did you really show yourself to be that sister of the light? Read.
Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you.
What are you going to say?
I never knew you.
Ooh, read.
Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
Man. See what happens when you're being hypocritical? You see what happens when you live in that hypocrisy? You see what happened when you're a hypocrite? The Lord said, I never knew you, bro.
Bring it out.
I don't recall. Sis, who you? It's a dangerous game that we playing, man. The Lord is showing us, giving us the game, bro. Showing us the cliff notes, man. Got the game shark hooked up, but we ain't inputting none of the cheat codes, man. We ain't adhering to none of the instruction, man. We ain't following none of the blueprints. We just out here wandering. Faking and shaking. Doing it for the views and the likes. Especially brothers in the truth now, bro. You ain't have no kind of status in the world, bro. You was whether the ultimate the standards of what the world would be considered lame was you. You get into this truth, all of a sudden, bro, you hooping and hollering, man. Your video get 500 views and now you think you the ish. You know what I mean? Abuse of power and so forth, right? But again, the Lord said, if a man think himself to be something, you know that scripture, bro. We already brought it out. We already brought it out, bro. Sirach, 1:29, man, and we out, bro. Go ahead, read that thing.
The book of Sirach, chapter 1 and verse 29. Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so God discover thy secrets, and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, because thou camest not in truth to the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit.
Man, I hope that really hits home for y'all brothers and sisters, man. That wraps up that one scripture, bro, wraps up the whole class, man. Do not bring that shame. Do not bring that dishonor, bro. Be as of Christ, bro. Unspotted.
That's right.
Not a stain on me. I'm gonna have to get that on the shirt. All right. Be draped in that white, man. All white linen. Not a stain on me. Ugh. When you at that barbecue, you got that all white on, you gotta eat away from yourself. You know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to drip nothing, you know what I mean? Have that same caution with the Lord, bro. When you say something, do it. When you profess yourself to be something, be that. When you put your stamp on something, stand on that. You know what I mean? Because the Lord will reveal your breaches.
That's right.
And on that, we say shalom.